All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our Inner Circle Live session. I am your host, Ryan Carthage. I hope everybody's day is off to a great start. Hold on one second, everybody. All right. So, as always, let's turn off all distractions for our minds and our bodies to engage as you guys always do. And for the courtesy of everybody on the call, please ensure that your mic is muted unless you are actively asking a question or making a comment. All right. Quick disclaimer, trading does have risk. Trading does have risk. All right. We're not CTAs, commodity trading advisors. So the information that we give is for educational purposes only. We can teach about the technicals. We can teach about the fundamentals. We can teach about everything all the way down to the trades that we like to take. But at the end of the day, it is up to you to press that button to take that trade. Okay, so always trade responsibly. Never risk any money that you could not afford to lose. All right, so this morning, I'm just gonna run through a few pairs. If you guys have anything you want me to take a look at, drop those in the chat as I switch over to my other screen. And I have a couple that I want to take a look at, and we can take a look at what you guys want to see. All right. Give me 1 second while I switch everything over. GJ. Huge. Okay. All right. So here we are. Let's get rocking. So real quick, let's take a look at Forex Factory. Benny talked about this a little bit last night, right? But we got some crude oil inventories, right? Impact on oil. Coming up today, we had just some light Euro news this morning. This afternoon, though, right, we have speakers from the central banks, right? So this could or late this morning, Eastern time, speakers from the central banks. So this could definitely impact what we see on the charts, right? As they're talking about monetary policy from different aspects, right? So we'll see how those conversations go. And then tonight we have China manufacturing PMI. So a couple of things to just keep your eyes on as the day moves on today. All right. Trading economics, European stocks bounce back. Okay. Something to read, something to pay attention to. The other one was sterling hits 8-month low, right? Benny talked about this yesterday with the energy crisis. So something to pay attention to as well. A lot of times, remember, when you get impulsive moves, you get a retracement of at least 50%, right? So we'll take a look at some things there. German import prices rise the most in 40 years. And then oil falls from the 2018 high, right? So crude oil, it made a nice retracement, regained some strength, and now it is pushing back to the downside. Okay, so let's hop over to the charts. And I did want to take a look at this pound yen, so we'll take a look at that one first. Yeah, there we go. And this pound yen, right? So we've been tracking this to the downside. We had this nice 80-20 play here. Excuse me. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. So we had the nice 80-20 play here, right? Bang to the top side. Price pushed down. We're approaching this TP1 area, right? I'm sorry, TP2. Hit TP1, got a nice shallow retracement off of the sub fib to the downside. Now we're approaching TP2 at the 61.8 area, okay? Something to watch out for. This has been a strong move to the downside, right? So as I just stated, a lot of times when you get these strong moves to the downside, you get a retracement, okay? So we could be in for a pullback sometime in the very near future, okay? We could be in for a pullback in the very near future. So be aware of where you are in the Fibonacci sequence, okay? Price is coming down into our sweet spot zone, right? And if we think we're going to stay bullish on this, right? It all depends on, some of those fundamental things, right? So if we go back to the daily time frame, right? This is the move we've been tracking for quite some time, right? Since the middle of the year, right? And we ultimately want price to come down to this daily 38.2 level, right? However, this is where we are, right? Top of this range, been pushing to the downside. We're approaching that downside of this wedge, right? So we want to see, once price gets down here, do we get a bounce back to the top and then another move to the bottom to continue the range, okay? Or does price break out of that, come back and retest it, and then continue to the downside, okay? We got stochastic pushing into the sell zone, but not quite there yet, okay? So it's kind of in between, a little indecision, okay? So that's from the daily perspective. Long term, my bias is short on this, right? But we got some back and forth, right, with some issues with the pound. So we could continue to see that sell off. So we'll see. We'll see if they recover, or if things continue to pick up the speed to the downside. Okay, so as that stochastic is trying to get to that sell zone, we could potentially see price continue after short pullback. All right, so back to that 1 hour time frame, right? This is that move to the downside off of that high. Okay, so price is pushing down nicely there. Stochastic is in the buy zone on the 1 hour time frame. So once we get there, that could give us that signal for the retracement. So how you can play this is drop your trend line. Bang, right? So now, if then statements, if price breaks your trend line, if price breaks your trend line, right, then we look for buy opportunities. Okay. Hold on a second. If price breaks a trend line, then we look for buy opportunities, right? So that's what I'm looking for on this pound yen in the short term, is potentially a pullback, and then I'd be looking for a continuation to the downside. Okay, so we could see something like this there. Then we could see it make its move back to the upside, retest this daily level, retest that daily level, and then give us a continuation move to the downside. Okay, the daily level, right, in that 61.8 retracement zone. Okay, that we could see that. All right, so keep your eyes peeled on that one. Look for that trend line break. Okay. And let's look at what we have on the list. Pound dollar. Since we're in the pounds, take a look at the pound dollar. All right. So from a daily perspective, take this out. Right. We've been tracking this move to the downside. Okay. This was our active fib on the daily time frame, but that D extension level got hit right here, right? And the strong move to the downside yesterday. You see price is still pushing down, right? We're coming into that daily 38.2 level, right? Which we hadn't gotten yet. So this is a nice pullback getting to that level. So on this one as well, right? We're approaching a key level of support, right? Key level of support. So once we get here, we want to see how price responds. Does it continue to push to the downside? Or do we get a retracement and then that continuation to the downside? Okay. So that D extension was hit. We need a swing low before we get a new AB boundary to form on the daily time frame. Okay. So once we get that swing low, then we'll be able to see where price is and where it's going to go, right? If it forms at that 38.2 level, that fib will look something like that. Okay. So that's the daily time frame. So if we take all of this down, right, we take all of this down to the 1 hour, and we just look at this last move to the downside. Okay. Just look at this last move to the downside. Benny talked about this one last night, right? This is our active AB boundary, right? This is the last impulsive move. Last impulsive move to the downside. Come back here. Come back here, right? And we just take this move to the downside here. Okay, just highlight it, take it down to the lower time frame. Bang, right? Okay. That's where we want to get to. So how do we get there, right? This was the previous high to that. Right here. I can select it. There we go. Okay. This is that high that started the move to the downside. Okay. And then this move occurred. So if we drop our fib from the top on this, bang, right? Puts us right there. Puts us right there. Okay. So we got an active AB boundary here. Shallow retracement. Price is pushing down to this 118, 127 zone. Okay. So this is one. Benny talked about it last night, right? You had the new AB boundary form. We saw price moving like so, right? So now it's coming into that 118, 127 area. Right? Posted in the Telegram. So we'll look for this move to occur. Okay. So if you trade with those with the confirmations, right? Trend line break, swing low, strap the trend line. Come off that like that. Okay. Now sit and wait. Sit and wait. Okay. 1 second. All right. So sit and wait, right? We're pushing down to that zone. Once we get down there, swing low, trend line break. Stochastic, we want that into the buy zone, right? So that's what we're looking for on the pound dollar, right? So if you look at just the pound pairs, right, we look at the pound yen pushing down into 118, 127 zone, potential retracement off of a strong impulsive move to the downside, right? So again, these moves like to take back a portion of these impulsive moves, right? So we could see it come back, retest the previous area of consolidation that it left, right? Which is right in our sweet spot. So if we get that, we can then look for potential selling opportunities to continue to the downside. Okay. Might make its way back to that outer trend line, which is all in confluence, right? All giving us the same information, right? In confluence, the same information, same details, multiple details to the story, giving us the same potential outcome. Okay. And then potentially we could see that. Any questions on the pound dollar or the pound yen? I'm sorry, I didn't ask about the pound yen. Any questions on either two of these pairs? No? Cool deal. Benny, good morning, bro.
Good morning, sir. How are you? Good morning, everybody.
Man. How are you?
Oh man, doing good. My bad. I had my alarm set. I was on the treadmill, and I just set it for PM, so it didn't go off. So I just kept right on going.
That's what's up. Getting a good work in, man.
Oh man, got to clear the brain.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yep.
sir. Beautiful.
So we got some pushes down to those key levels starting to, huh?
Yes, sir.
That's good.
Yes, sir. Right. This is the pound dollar. We got the pound yen also, which is pushing down to the 618 retracement level off of the active fib.
Shauna. Yeah, that's what you want. That widens it. Those are great plays. If you get the U-turns off of them, they settle down around that 118, 127 zone. Nice setups.
Yep. Exactly. So, any questions? Nope. We'll do it. Let's take a look at want to take a look at UJ. So let's take a look at it. Dollar yen. All right. Ebony made a comment yesterday. She would love to see a double top on this. Well, Ebony, go to the daily time frame. You got your wish. All right. Price pushed up to this weekly resistance level. Right. So we'll see if it stalls and gives a pullback, right? It gives us move back to the downside. We got stochastic exhausted, right? Almost at 100%, right? All the way up in the sell zone. So looks like it's still trying to push up. But so from a daily perspective, we came just short of a 32 retracement here off of this active fib. So if price breaks through this, we could see that de-extension hit. So we want to see if price does in fact stall in this zone and give us a retracement, right? Or does price maybe give us a shallow retracement and then continue higher? Okay. So we want to see how price responds on the lower time frame. All right. So if we drop down to the 1, right? We looked at, let's go back real quick. So if we zoom in on where we are currently, right? We're in this range for quite some time. We got kind of a double bottom right here, right? These two touches, we talked about this yesterday, I believe, and Benny talked about it as well, right? Double bottom right here. So on the 1 hour time frame, we want to zoom in on this last impulsive move to the upside. Okay. Zoom in on the last impulsive move to the upside. So that's where we're going, right? We highlighted that level, right? We zoom out, right there. Nice double bottom. That's where we start our fib, right at that low. That will be taken out. Yep. So right here, that second leg, move to the upside, like so. So now, this is where you are. Right, you got stochastic in the buy zone, got a 38.2 retracement. The price is trying to push higher, right? So you could see some consolidation in here. But we got almost a 50% retracement. So now we want to see, does price carry to the D extension? Or do we get consolidation here and a push deeper? Okay. So that's what we want to wait and see. Okay. Playing in this little range here potentially. All right. So I'm sitting out of this one just because I want to see what happens when we got the speakers later on this morning. So I want to see what happens there and where their conversation takes us. Okay. So this one we'll watch. We'll wait and see if we do get that retracement or we get a breakout. So do we get that? Or do we get this? Okay. So we'll wait and see how price responds. Wait and see how price responds. Okay. Any questions on this one? Yeah. Definitely be patient on it. Definitely be patient on it, right? This weekly level here is a strong one, right? So we want to see how price responds, right? All this action here. So definitely want to see how price responds. Okay. Let me go back to this pound yen really quickly. I want to see something. Yep, so we're right in that zone there. Right. And that's that TP2 level. Just got hit. So potentially looking for a U-turn on that potentially. Okay.
Hey, can I ask a question?
Yes. Who we got?
When you draw the trend line because you're trying to see if it's going to break the trend line and be a buy, but whenever it's coming back down, are you knowing or predicting that it's coming back down? Are you drawing another trend line for the sell if you want to play it that way?
Say that one more time for me. We got the trend line.
Yeah, you know how you drew the trend line to show that it's a buy. I said, but to play it coming back down, is there another trend line that you would draw?
Yep. So if price gives that, if price does make this move here to the upside, right? After it breaks this trend line, right, we'll see that it's broken and we can just remove that. And then, right, just to keep you honest, you can definitely draw that trend line to the upside like that. And now once price gets to your sweet spot, right, you potentially have an inner trend line like so. And then you can just monitor the trend line break if it comes at the top.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Absolutely. Right. Because the trend line, remember, right, it's going to tell you the direction and momentum. Right. So as long as the trend line, either way it goes, right, if you're looking for selling opportunities, right, you want that uptrend line. If you're looking for buying opportunities, you want that downtrend line.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And who was that? I'm sorry. Was that Andrea?
This is Andrea. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Just trying to get the voices. All right. So that would be your inner trend line there. But I wanted to, I'm watching this one closely, guys. Right in between that 118, 127 off of the sub fib. So I want to see if we get this reversal.
Right, it looks like it's also in confluence with the major fib and the 618.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay. Cool deal. Casey, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Hi, everybody.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So let's then we have some thoughts on these Aussie pairs. So let's take a look at the Aussie yen real quick. See what progress we made overnight. So, right, this one we've been tracking to the downside. We got a nice 786 retracement. That's that high point. Okay. Queen Pips. Love it. That's that high point, right? We took that down to the 1 hour time frame and we tracked the fibs on it, right? And we had A's get taken out. So then we moved back to the upside. So this is where we are currently. Okay. Didn't get that deep retracement there. We did get a 38.2 pullback. And now price is trying to push down to officially hit that. Oops, nope. To get to this D extension level here, right? So this is just a sub fib off of that. We'll take that out. And this is the move we're tracking, right? We're right at TP1. This is the active fib moving to the upside. Okay. Just keep things simple. We had an 80-20 play, right? We're sitting right at TP1. So now we want to see if we get price to continue down, or do we get a pullback off of this, a deeper retracement, right? See if we get a deeper retracement, potentially come back and retest the trend line, maybe give a double top, and then do we get a continuation to the downside? Okay, we got stochastic in the buy zone here, so we'll see. This is a level that we want to see. If we get a break of it, right, we could see that push. If we get a break and a retest. Okay, so we're sitting right at that TP1 level. Okay, so from that daily perspective, right, we got stochastic pushing into the sell zone. Okay, so similar to the other yen crosses, right, we got difference in the daily and 1 hour, but from a daily perspective, we could be looking for short opportunities over the long term in the near future. But currently on the 1 hour time frame, right, we've gotten price to pull down. We haven't gotten a really deep retracement, right? So we could potentially see price come back, right, to give us a deeper retracement and then potentially continuation. Okay, you guys following me on that? Yes.
Hi, Ryan.
Hey, Eunice.
Hi, morning.
1 second.
My question is about the
Eunice, you there?
yes, about the shallow retracement for the 80-20. Anything lower than 38.2 is considered a shallow retracement.
That's correct. That's correct.
Thank you.
Yeah. So even if price comes down, right? So we'll say all of this to the right didn't occur. Even if price came down, didn't get to that 38.2 level, right? Came just shy, and then moved to the upside, we'll still look for a potential stall in this area, right? Still look for a potential stall in that area. So anything less than this 38.2 level, we consider a shallow retracement, and we look for this 80-20 scenario. Okay. Good question. Any other questions? Cool deal. Let's take a look at the Aussie Swiss franc. So this is one. Let's go back to the daily time frame. Okay. This is the move that we've been tracking on this, right? AB boundary, price pushed down, gave us a 50% retracement. And then we got action back to the upside. Okay, we got stochastic still in the buy zone. Okay, but we're getting a little pullback here. Okay, price couldn't fully break out to the upside and get back to that trend line. Okay. So we want to see, right? Do we get continuation to the upside to complete this crown pattern? Right? Do we get that? Or do we get a deeper push, right? This price push back down below this daily support, right? Or daily resistance and give us a deeper retracement. Okay. So that's what we want to see long-term if this plays out for us, right? So we're getting some consolidation right here in the zone. So let's drop down to the 1 hour time frame. And what we'll kind of hone in on is this area right here. Right? We'll look at the B boundary on that off of that daily fib. Okay. So we'll take some of this out so it's cleaner. Right. So we just dropped our fibs from the top of this move. Just dropped the fib from the top of this move. Bang. AB boundary form there. We got a 8-6 retracement. And now we're trying to see what price is going to do. We got stochastic in the sell zone, and we see prices pushing to the downside, right? So if we get a breakout of this kind of wedge that price was working in, right? If we get a true breakout and continuation to the downside, we could see price come down, give us a retest of this daily level, and then give us that continuation down like so. Okay. So we want to see if this daily level holds. If it holds, we could see that push back to the upside, right? But if we get a strong bearish close, right? These have just been wicks below that level, right? Nothing really strong breaking out of that daily support. But if we get a strong break to the downside here, we could see that continuation there. Okay. But if we just get the wicks as we have, and then we see price give us that turn, we could see price push back to the top of this little range that we've been in. Okay. So there's something to watch. Once we get a breakout in one direction or the other, then that could give us our indication on where price is going to go. But I have a feeling we could play in this zone a little bit longer. Okay. Could play in the zone a little bit longer. Okay. Any questions here? Okay, cool deal. Aussie CAD. This one has been an interesting back and forth, right? Long term, we're looking at the potential of a crown pattern playing out, right? But recently we had this move here, right? Let me take this out. I'll take that out too. Okay. Most recent impulsive move was right here, right? Push to the upside, broke a trend line, broke the trend line. Now we're coming back to try to retest that trend line, right? Stochastic is living in that buy zone, waiting for things to settle down, right? So we're pushing down. We're at a 786 retracement right now. Potentially could push a little deeper. Okay. Before we get a reversal potentially to the upside. Okay. So what we want to do, we'll just highlight this B boundary here, and we'll take that down to the 1 hour time frame. We're just going to look at this move here. Okay. So we drop down to the 1, zoom back out. Just got mixed up. And that's where we are. Okay. Drop the fib from the top to the bottom. Right. I brought that fib off of the daily time frame just for awareness of where we are in the sequence. Right. That A got taken out there. So we start at the next high right here. Okay. AB boundary. We got a 50% retracement. Now, I would love for price to come down and hit the extension level. Okay. Would love to see that. We got stochastic in the sell zone, as we just mentioned. So once that occurs, we'll get a new AB boundary, and then we'll be able to play. Then we'll be able to play, potentially move back to the upside. Okay. But we'd love to see this push down to get to that D extension level. Okay. So just watch this one. If we get that breakout to the downside, just been moving sideways right here. Okay. So once that new AB boundary forms, we'll have some nice plays on this potentially to move back to the upside to complete this, potentially to complete this crown pattern. Okay. So we'll watch that one over the next day or so and see if we get any reactions. Okay. Questions there?
Yes, Ryan.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Desi.
Good morning. Could you go back to the daily in one moment, please? Okay. On that that down fib, I'm looking at where the 618 is. Yeah, that down fib.
Over here?
The extension, sorry.
No, here?
Yeah. So I'm thinking it's probably going to come down that way. Lower. Yeah. And then make the move up.
Okay. Potentially, if that would call for the Canadian dollar to be really strong, potentially oil move back to the upside, and iron ore to get weak in the Aussie dollar to get really weak. I'm leaning more bullish on this one just because this is that daily trend line here, and we got a strong break of it, right? So I'm still bullish on this one, and we got daily support here. So I think it would take a lot for price to push below this level. Yeah. Yeah. But it's possible. It's possible for sure. If you add a couple things to this, right? So it's a little more higher level for our new folks. So don't allow this to confuse you. But if you drop a sub fib from the top to the bottom, right, just shy of a 61.8, that D extension is still inside of this this daily support. So, and this D extension is kind of in line with that 1 hour D extension, which is another reason that I think price could push a little lower, but I don't see price breaking back below that trend line to go below that. Yeah.
Okay.
So take that down, take this down to the 1 hour, and we look at, see that D extension there. That active fib is right in line with that daily D extension level, which is just below that 8.6 retracement. So that's my thought. That's my thought, but it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Good assessment though. Good assessment. Any other questions? Yep. All right, cool deal. Aussie NZD. This one we have been tracking for quite some time, right? And we saw from a daily perspective, right? We have this AB boundary. here. AB boundary here. I wish Ron was on the call. Ron was in this one. Nice move to the upside here. So we're approaching TP, just broke TP1, right? Coming to TP2. So we'll continue to watch this one for potential retracement, but that move is playing out beautifully if anybody stayed in it. Took a while, but if anybody stayed in it, it's playing out beautifully. So if we go down to the 1 hour time frame, right? This is that daily fib just brought down to the 1 hour. And so now we're tracking to the upside here, approaching 50%. Okay. So Andrew, this is one of those scenarios, right? The trend line got broken, moved to the upside. So now we can remove those. Tracking, this is the outer trend line, right? Long-term perspective. So if you wanted to look for retracements in this, you can start at this low. Oops. Start at this low. Okay. Map your fibs to the upside. Okay. And then you would draw your trend lines here, like so. Okay. Oops. That. That. And then like that. Okay. So now you can track this. We got a 50% retracement. Price is pushing up, broke that B boundary. So tracking to this D extension level, which is in line with the 61.8 retracement. Okay.
Thank you, Ryan.
You're welcome. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Got it.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. So, right. So this one's tracking up to the upside. Once we get up here at 618 level, right, in confluence with this down trend line, it's a daily trend line coming from the top, right? We'll see how price responds there. Do we get pushed back to the downside, or do we break through and continue higher? Okay. So that's the Aussie New Zealand. And let's take a look at the Aussie dollar, and then we'll take a look at gold. All right, so this Aussie dollar, all right, been tracking the move to the downside again, right? I'm tracking this move here. Okay, this is our active AB boundary. Yeah, nice pullback here. So this is our C, right? A, B, C, and price has been trying to push to the downside. Okay, nice deep 618 retracement. So potentially, right, this D extension at some point could be our destination. We got the stochastic pushing into the buy zone. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll take this C point. All right, we'll take that down to the 1 hour. And we'll track them. All right, these are those fibs tracked down. Okay, just starting from this high point here and coming down. That one got taken out. So we start there and we go. So this is where we are. Price just been moving sideways in this range. Okay, but we did get a 618 retracement. Okay, rejected off the trend line, trying to push deeper. We got the stochastic in the sell zone. So if we get a break below the support level, which has been holding pretty strong, but if price breaks out, that level holds, could see the D extension in this weekly support level come into play. Okay. So that's what we want to see. We want to see how price responds here at this level. Right. We could see another push to the upside if the dollar if the dollar gives a pullback. All right, so we could potentially see this and then that. Okay, so watch that. We'll see if this level holds or if the momentum is strong and the market is ready to continue in favor of the dollar. Okay. That's the Aussie dollar. Sideways movement. All right. Let's take a look at gold. Whoops. All right, so pull out to the daily time frame. It's a little messy, not one that I update or trade often, so we'll take a look at it. All right, so if we, let's see if we got any new levels since the last time I marked it up. Let's see. We got a daily level here. Daily level there. That's the new level there. Okay. Like so. Don't have a support yet. The stochastic is in the buy zone. All right, so take that out right now. So we'll take our fibs from the top to the bottom on this. Right, we got our support and the resistance levels in. 618 retracement. Price is trying to make its way to the downside. We'll see if it gets there. Right. So this is the C of this move currently. Okay, A, B, C. So let's take this level down to the 1 hour time frame. And see what we have. Okay. I'm going to take this out. There we go. All right, so that's that high point. Probably have some fibs taken out. Yeah. So come to this high. This is the highest point in this consolidation range. So we'll take this high here. All right, so AB boundary, got to pull back here, 618 retracement. Price is trying to make its way down to the D extension. Okay. So we'll see if it gets there, right? But right now it's in between, trying to make its way there. That's gold. That's gold. Any questions here?
Can you draw the trend line for me, please?
Yep. Couple of this one. That is the lowest point, so I'll do this. We did get a break. We would have had a really tight one come through here like that. And like that. Yep. You got a break. I'm trying to see if that holds, right? We got a bullish candle there. We'll see if that holds. We got stochastic in the sell zone. So this could push back down below this trend line. Yeah, that could push back below that trend line and continue down.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Could have potentially retest the 618. Could potentially. Talking about like this and then continue down. It could. All right, we got stochastic in the sell zone, so potentially some selling pressure building up. So we could see that move back to the downside there. Okay,
Thanks, Ryan.
you are welcome. You are welcome. Anybody got any other pairs they want to take a look at?
Hey, Ron, I got a question about capital fibs.
Yeah, what's up, Ken?
So when you're mapping out your daily capital fib, let's say you're mapping it from the top to the bottom. And then you have your capital fib drawn out, and then you have a impulse move to the upside. That would be your sub fib, right?
Mhm.
So are you bringing the sub fibs down to the hour, or are you bringing the capital fib down to the hour? Which are you bringing? Which one are the sub fib down to the hour, or the actual capital
So,
fib down to the hour? That's where I'm getting a little confused.
No, I hear you. Taking that daily fib down to the 1 hour. Generally, we will do that in a couple specific scenarios. One, if it's a fresh AB boundary, right? If it's a fresh AB boundary, we'll take that down to the 1 hour to track the move there, and then draw our sub fibs from it. Or if it's an 80-20 scenario on the daily time frame. Like we did that with, at one time we did that with the euro dollar, right? Where we were looking for a potential reversal, right? And so when this AB boundary formed and we saw a price come down into the zone, we brought this fib down to the 1 hour time frame to see if we're going to get that reversal to the upside, right? So in those scenarios is when we'll copy that fib down to the 1 hour time frame most times. Aside from that, what we'll do is we'll have that area identified, and then we'll just take either the C of that pullback, right? Like we did with who's the Aussie dollar? No, which one was that? Here, Aussie yen, right? So this is the AB boundary here. This was the C point. So at this C, we'll then take that point and come down to the 1 hour time frame. Won't necessarily copy the whole fib, but we'll just take that point and then we'll map our sub fibs on the 1 hour time frame from that high. And so then that'll take us to where price currently is. What we try to do is just try to simplify things a little bit. We had folks getting confused when we had capital fibs and then sub fibs like this, right?
Mhm.
Folks were getting confused like this. So what we did was we just removed those sub fibs out of the scenario because it takes you to the same point on the 1 hour time frame, right? So we moved that sub fib from it. So this is the capital fib. We got a 786 retracement. Now we want to see from the last impulsive move, which was here, where price takes us. And so we'll just copy that area and go down to the 1 hour time frame, just to try to keep things as simple as possible. Right. So you know where you are from a daily perspective off of the capital fib, right? And then on the lower time frames, you're just tracking your 1 hour fibs from there. Did that
Okay,
help?
so yeah, so the sub fib is pretty much just trying to find where you're at the highest point on the 1 hour.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And for confluences, you're using the capital fib, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Capital
See
fib
where
there.
you're at now. I got
Yep.
you. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Any other questions? Anybody got any other pairs you want me to take a look at before we wrap it up for the day? For the morning? CAD yen. Let's take a look at it. Right. So from a daily perspective, right? Tracking the fibs to the downside here. This is our capital fib on the daily time frame, AB boundary. Okay. We got an 8.6 retracement. This is our high point, and you see price is trying to push back to the downside. Okay. So this is our last impulsive move here. Okay. Last impulsive move. So, right, identify that zone. Take it down to the 1 hour time frame. It gets us here, right? Nice double bottom here on the 1 hour. Price move to the upside. So we track this move, 80-20 scenario that we posted and we talked about. Okay. Now we want to see, right? Where's price going to take us? We got a trend line break. We're getting price to stall at this daily was resistance, now support, right? Stochastic is in the buy zone. So we want to see if this daily level gets broken. Okay. We want to see if this daily level gets broken. I didn't shift it to the top yet, just because on that daily time frame, we don't have that swing high. Okay. Right. We don't have that swing high form just yet. So this is our previous daily resistance level. Right. So we want to see, right, does this level of support hold? Do we get maybe a push back up to retest this 118, 127 level and then push down? Or will this level get broken? We get that TP1 pull back and then potentially deeper. Okay, we got stochastic in the buy zone, so we could see this price push higher. We could see it push higher. Okay, just keep in mind, right? We have those speakers coming later this morning from the central banks around the world. So those could impact the charts, right? Could impact the charts. So the yen a lot of times moves as the dollar moves. So we'll see if there's an impact as those conversations occur today. Okay, the stochastic in the buy zone, look for a potential pullback a little deeper, and then potential continuation after we get a high price. Okay. Awesome. All right, good people. Next week, I'm just giving you guys a heads up on this. We'll send out an email. I have to shift my morning schedule because my daughter wanted to go into school instead of doing school at home. So I have to shift my morning schedule a little bit, which is kind of why I've been a little tight on our morning sessions, getting off right at 8 o'clock. So I got to get her ready for school and get her to school by 8:30. So we're looking at shifting the morning time to 6:30 to 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Shift from what we've been doing since we started, but I got to work out the travel schedule to get Logan to school in the morning. So we're looking at potentially starting that next week. So just be aware, we'll finish this week out from 7 to 8. Next week, we're looking at shifting to an earlier time. Okay, just so that I can make sure that I'm not rushing through anything and we're able to get through everything in the time that we need to. So just giving you guys a heads up on that change that'll be coming next week. Okay, Benny, Casey, you guys got anything before we close out?
No, sir. Great session. Just continue to be patient. Continue to be patient. Watch the price action. Wait for your confirmations. Trade small.
Trade small. Trade small. All right, everybody. You guys have a phenomenal day. Check out Benny's session tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see how the market reacted to the speakers later this morning and whatever else happens throughout the day today. Okay. So we'll see you guys back at 9 o'clock. Have a great day, everybody.